Hey guys, it's your favorite girls back again with another episode. It's your girl Paulette coming out the set. What's good?
Hey everybody, it is your girl Jori Alia.
It's your girl Michelle, aka Shelly, aka Egypt if you nasty.
Hey everyone, just Nick checking in, and thank you for joining us for another episode with your favorite ladies.
Yes.
How are y'all doing?
Doing good, doing great.
The weather has been so up and down. I don't know. I feel like it's affecting my moods.
It's been bipolar, definitely.
Very
No,
bipolar.
like, I know April showers bring May flowers, but it's still March.
Yeah, no,
It's
March
literally
has
still
been really
March.
weird. Like one day it's cold, then it's rainy, then it's 80 degrees, then it's back to 40. It's really weird.
You know what low key gives me a little bit of anxiety? When everyone starts texting you, what are you doing for your birthday? What are you doing for your birthday?
my
girl.
And you're literally looking like,
I don't know.
I don't know what to tell y'all.
Girl.
I don't know what I even want to do for myself. So
Yeah.
what am I supposed to say?
No, I
That's
feel you.
that's the most stressful thing about birthdays because like it's not so much about making you have a good day. It's like you have to make sure that you're accommodating everybody who wants you to have a good day. You know what I mean? It's
That's
like it's not even fun anymore.
Yeah, that's why I've made my birthdays me now. Cause like normally people start in November, cause I'm a January, so it's like and it's the start of the new year, so it's like, what are you doing? It's like nothing. It's just for me. Like,
Yeah, I know.
because it's a lot. I'm one person. I used to really go all out on my birthday, throw parties, all that, but then out of nowhere it just started getting stressful, and it's like,
No, it does.
I know one advice my
Yeah.
friend gave me was to keep your birthday for yourself. And if you have to plan anything, plan it for the next day. That way you don't have to spend your
Yeah.
birthday worrying about all that. And I feel like that's actually good advice. That way your birthday is about you reflecting, actually like meditating over the new year.
Yeah.
And then the next day, if you want to do something, okay, I'm outside.
Do y'all work on
Definitely.
your birthday?
no,
No.
No. Well, my
I'm always
birthday's
off.
always Memorial Weekend. So
yeah, mine's
Okay.
always mine's the second, so it's always off. I'm always off literally the following day.
No, my birthday's on a Sunday this year, and I'm definitely taking off Monday.
I
Yes,
feel
you should.
I'm taking that Friday and Monday off.
Yeah,
so
and
I'm
I
just
don't
gonna
really day.
extendo that out.
Y'all, I took off a week, and I don't even have
Really?
plans, but I'm just like,
That's okay.
my birthday falls right in the
Sometimes
middle
you
of
just
it. I'm
like-
just like, whatever.
Use that week to yourself and just relax and really get to relax.
Or go on a bender.
Yeah, that too. That works as well.
I can't go on any more benders, or
Not
I'm going-
anymore.
I love
or
liquor.
I'm going to lose all my prospects.
I lose.
Not it's giving
funny.
alcoholism. It's
No,
giving
that's funny.
reel it in or you have a problem.
No, literally, that's
Yeah.
that's what it's giving.
That's when I have my most fun.
Yeah, I think with drinking me, it's like I either have to go all the way out. I can't half step with it. So now,
No, yeah.
I don't like drinking.
Nah.
Because I go all in, like for no reason
Lucky
too.
because it's like I ain't just trying to beat my liver up for no reason. Like it has to be worth it.
Thank you.
Y'all are funny.
All right. So I was gonna ask y'all two different questions. You don't have to answer both, one or the other. What is something new that you added to your beauty routine that's like now a staple for you, or what's something that you've done recently to kind of like tap in for like self-care to make you feel good?
Ooh. Okay, one thing I did add to my beauty routine is snail mucin, Course RX. I would sleep on that, and some people say break them out, but if you have dry skin, that's a game changer. I'm not gonna lie. Transforming my skin for real.
For me, it's actually crazy. This year has been the worst year as far as like my eczema breakouts have
Okay.
gone. So I added in, Michelle over here, she told me to add in a few extra vitamins. So I did that. And then I also added in like, it's called a super balm. And I use that.
Ooh, is it from La Roche?
Yes.
I like
Okay.
that brand.
And so I add that in, and then I actually added in a new moisturizer that I'm going to now start using just for like the winter times, because it has a lot more of like nutrients and vitamins in it that works better for my skin whenever I have like my eczema breakouts.
What's the name of the moisturizer?
They have to
It's
cut the
called
check.
like,
I'm just kidding.
yeah, I don't know. I actually forgot the name of it, but they make like literally all natural products.
Is it the Vanna cream or no?
It's like
I
a,
wonder.
I forgot what it is, but it was like back ordered, so it actually took a few weeks to come in. But
Only because I'm sure people listening who probably have eczema probably just like put me on, sis. So that's why.
Well,
And because
yeah,
Amazon storefront.
yeah, so I will add it. I will add it to our Amazon storefront because you can order it on Amazon. It was back ordered on Amazon, so I had to go through the actual website, but it is available on there. So I'll add both of those products to our Amazon storefront.
There's actually been a few things. I use under eye gel patches that I never used to use, but now I see a difference. I think the name of the company is Pixie. That's a cool one.
I love
yeah.
Pixie.
And then I use Good Molecules under eye gel as well. That I like that one too. And I started using natural deodorant. There's a brand I really like, Necessity. You can get it at Sephora. And what else? Oh, and I've been doing a clay mask every week. I notice like my pores are just, ugh. And I notice every time I use a clay mask, it just cleans my face out and everything just looks lovely. And because like literally my skin used to look dull. I used to think my skin was like lovely, but it's like it had a little dull effect on it. So I just been really trying to keep my face moisturized. I really was an oily girl. However, I had to now I had to leave like mattifying products and start using hydrating things, because now I feel like I've turned into like a dry girl in a sense. Like I'm a little oily, but more so dry skin.
Not a dry girl.
I mean, no, my skin is like, I have dry patches now, and that's unheard of for me. So
Because it's winter, it's weather.
I'm trying to think.
Maybe.
As far as beauty products, there's so many new things I've tried. I'm not even gonna touch on that. I'll say as far as self-care though, I really was realizing how much I was neglecting like my hair. So recently I dyed it, and then I decided to do a protein treatment, which is very important. If y'all have not done a protein treatment in a minute, your hair needs it. Anyways, I got a haircut, and so yeah, I just been needing to like
No, I'm not
TLC
gonna lie.
my hair a little
your
bit.
hair looks
It
like
does.
Thank you.
like
Nice.
Yeah.
Protein treatment.
Protein treatment. I'm telling you, it's a little scary. Make sure you watch YouTube videos before you do that, because you'll fuck
You
your
did it
hair up.
yourself?
I did it myself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did it myself.
Which
yeah.
protein?
Apogee.
Oh, Apogee.
I bought I didn't even buy
Two-step?
the big bottle, the 2-step. I didn't buy the big bottles. I bought the sample size. I bought 4 packets of it, so you don't need a lot. And get a spray bottle. Honestly, go to YouTube. That's what I did. But just be careful, because you can definitely damage your hair if you don't
okay,
do it
got
correct.
you.
Because when you spray the protein in your hair, it like dries like rock solid. So if you fuck up or you get to touching it too much, like you're manipulating your hair when it's in a state that it shouldn't be manipulated in.
Exactly.
So you have to.
Or you need to make a YouTube tutorial.
Girl, no.
I feel
Yeah.
Not
There's some
YouTube,
things that-
TikTok.
Yeah.
Maybe a TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Honestly, I feel like
But it's going to be a little while. You only do a protein treatment once every 6 months. So
Oh.
y'all will see that from me in 6 months.
I feel like we as Black people, I don't know why we left Apogee and started going to Olaplex. We need to go back to our roots, okay?
Telling you.
Because it was working for us. And
Really?
Olaplex is
I
really
didn't know,
just
I didn't
destroying
think
people's hair.
Olaplex. When I see Black people using that brand, I didn't know it was for us.
Because Olaplex, they have like
Yeah.
I think 4 different like lines, and one of them is like I think hydrating, one of them is like strengthening, the other one's
Yeah.
like bonding.
Yeah, I didn't know that was for us, so I never touch it.
A lot of people are using it because they're seeing it like, oh, I want to use Olaplex, but they don't realize like you have to use Olaplex that's formulated for your hair. So a lot of people are using protein treatments from Olaplex, and it's like your hair doesn't need that much protein, and using
Yeah.
it weekly, you know.
Yeah,
That's why I feel like it should
What?
stay a salon product, but
yeah.
No,
capitalism.
Because I couldn't even imagine, because even after I did my protein treatment, like my hair was like, so I don't want to say dry, but like it had no feeling to it. So I had to do like a deep condition after that. I sat underneath a hooded dryer for 30 minutes. And after that, my moisture came back. So if someone was using shampoo like that every week,
imagine.
You have a
hair
Right.
dry.
You have a hooded dryer?
Jori's been having that.
Wow.
I thought
Yeah.
y'all had
Yeah,
one. The
no.
You
one
plug it, you plug it
Get
into
that
your
at
hair dryer and it
Sally's.
blows up on your head.
No, I don't have
loved
that
it.
at Sally's.
I was in the kitchen chillaxing, eating cookies. Like, yeah, it was
Sally's girl
I'm
or
crying
the
at
beauty
chillaxing.
supply.
Not chillaxing.
30 minutes is a long time with heat blowing on your head. You got to be occupied. You can sit anywhere with a hooded dryer. So that's why I was like, let me sit in the kitchen, eat cookies.
Oh, and then I forgot to tell y'all another thing I added to my beauty routine is actually going into the salon. Like I used to run away from the salon because I was, team wigs. But like ever since like I've been taking a break and trying different things, I enjoy being in the salon. Like I feel like when I enter the salon, I feel like I'm entering a different world and I'm like a girl. It's so much fun.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay,
Not trying to
Oh,
don't
sorry,
do that.
Sorry.
we
sorry.
all love salon. We all love
move
salons
along
here.
to MOTO.
Oh my God.
That low-key was a quick.
Sorry, that was a
I'm like nudge, like shut up.
no. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm editing that
No,
out.
you're good, girl.
good.
Just don't let it happen again.
Sorry, I was
Not let it
mentally-
happen again.
I was mentally trying to like, you know how you have to signal the transition. That was me. Just I don't know.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna jump into the model, but before I do, I'm gonna give a disclaimer. I just got a Invisalign, so my talking is a little off. Bear with me, because I'm like, this is a lot to read. I'm not gonna lie, but it'll be quick. So this is titled "Caught Boyfriend in a Lie About His Location Last Night. What should I do?"
Oh Lord.
Right.
Well, that was already the biggest red flag I need to know, because cops are like one of the people like that's like the biggest red
I
flag.
said caught. Not
No.
caught.
I thought you said cop.
I was like, what is she talking
Yeah,
about?
I was like,
Honestly, it could be me in the Invisalign. I'm sorry.
Not
Okay.
I heard caught.
Okay.
Oh, I
well,
heard cop.
That sounds like those are the best. I said, huh? I said, no, let me read what I read just now. Okay, but she said, background. Me and my boyfriend are both late 20s and have been together 2 years. We have a pretty strong relationship to the point where we're considering moving in together, have discussed marriage and kids, and so on. We are both financially stable, went to graduate school, and are at good places in our lives. I really do love him and thought this was my first healthy relationship, and after therapy and self-work since my last ex was very toxic. He likes to smoke weed, and I don't really do that anymore, but don't care that he does on weekends, and we are in a state where it's legal. Last night, he said he was going to a dispensary, and I said, okay. I randomly had a gut feeling something was off, so I checked his location a while after that. I know I shouldn't have done this, and it's not healthy, but for some reason, something in my head told me to. Lo and behold, he was at his dealer's house, or basically his friend who used to be a dealer who has a lot of bud around him all the time. I'm not sure why he would lie about that, but to me, it's a deal breaker, or at least a red flag. I also don't know how to confront him about it, or should I even do it, but it seems like such a dumb thing to lie about. He knows we share locations, so what the F? I'm not even mad, just feel exhausted, and like maybe he was testing the waters to see if he could get away with other lies or has lied before. Anyway, should I 1, break up with him, no explanation?
What? Oh, y'all just...
No, right. 2, confront him and see if there's a good explanation. 3, ask innocently about his night, but with hints like, did you see your dealer? How was it? Or 4, don't mention it. Basically...
Girl.
My boyfriend lied about going to the dispensary and was at a dealer's house instead. What should I do? Is this breakup worthy?
No,
Is
it's
the
really
dealer-
not.
Okay.
It's really not.
But is
It's
the dealer not a dispensary?
It
Maybe he
is.
was trying to flex like he's buying his weed, but he's getting it for free. But is that your
Like,
business?
But it's not even that. It's just like, girl, like, come on now.
But no,
Be
I
for
think,
real.
No,
Like,
I think what she's leaving out is that the dealer's a girl.
I don't think the dealer's a girl.
Because
That's
he
something
lied.
key to
no,
leave
because
out.
Yeah.
why would you get upset that he said he was going to go buy a product and he went to go buy a product?
Can I be honest with you? Because it's a useless lie. That's why she's upset.
Yeah,
I don't like
'cause
when,
it's like,
'cause
why did
I
you
agree with her.
lie?
I do not like when
Yeah.
people tell me useless
But
lies.
is that a lie?
That is a lie. Just say where you
It is-
went.
it
You
is a-
went to your plug's house. You did not go to a dispensary.
But what if he did go to the dispensary at first and he realized that he can get it for a better quality and better price
you
at his
owe-
plug?
See,
You're always going.
My thing is,
Why lie?
my main thing is, what's the difference between dispensary and homeboy with
That's
weed?
like I'm saying.
So
There's
that-
no
that-
difference
that's-
to me.
There's really no difference. So to me, it's
One
like
has a legal backing. That's it.
They both have legal backing
Oh,
in a
because they're
legal
in a
state.
legal state. Yeah. I mean, y'all. I mean, I feel like this is how I feel. When you can lie about something so small like that, what else are you
Is that
lying
a
about?
lie?
That is a lie. You're not being
Oh, no,
honest.
no, no,
it depends on what he said. If he
Yo.
specifically was like, I'm going to the dispensary, it just depends on how he normally says it. I think it's probably the way he said. For her to have an inkling, he said something
Yeah,
weird.
I think that
Yeah.
we are literally at this
No.
point like picking a fight.
No,
I'm not picking
I
a
don't
fight,
think-
but
I don't
it's
see the big
just
deal.
be honest.
I think that y'all shouldn't be sharing locations. I feel like that.
Yeah.
I think that's honestly the
Yeah,
solution to this.
Bit heavy on that.
Because because you have to ask yourself, what made you check where his location was after he told you he was going somewhere harmless? Like, where did you think he would be? And only because iPhone locations sometimes they lag and all those other things. And personally, I haven't. I'm not gonna lie, I was in a situation similar to that where like I did ask my like, what are you doing? And the lie was so weird. Like I think he was, I'm chilling playing the game, and I was like, no, you're moving down 1604. Like, why are you lying? But it.
Wow, so specific.
No, but at the same time,
It's like, why lie?
no, but it's like, why lie? But at the same time, it's like, why did I check? And why am I so invested? And why not just trust the other person?
But-
So many questions.
At what
but
point
yeah.
do y'all
No.
share locations?
I'm not sharing locations at all unless you're my husband.
Ooh. I have a question, but I'll get to that later.
Okay.
But-
I don't know, because I don't feel like it's like, come on now. Before you were allowed, like you said last episode, before we were allowed to share locations, what were y'all doing? Just being honest with each other where you were at. So
Yeah.
let's
I
follow
think-
suit. Like,
I feel like I'm in agreement has already been made where y'all are sharing locations. Tell him you look at the location. It doesn't matter why you
Yeah.
decided to look. You're
That
over here saying
whole
maybe I
trying to
shouldn't have. I don't
game.
want. Like you're actually playing a lot of games. And at this point in my life, I'm not going to hint around. Oh, did you see your dealer? I checked your
Direct.
location last night. You were at the dealer, so I thought you were going to the dispensary. I like clear communication. That whole you had went through 5 different scenarios of what to do in this
Yeah.
situation. Just ask him. Like
Just
all
be
these other
direct.
games.
I think it's one of those things where she should low-key get in trouble too. Because why are you checking my location? Like, just
No.
because I give you my location for emergency purposes, don't do that to check up on me. And I have to sometimes tell people that have my location that, because people be like, will send me like the side eye. And I'd be
I
like,
don't like that.
what are
The
you
moment
side-eyeing
you
me
do
for?
that.
Because I gave you my location in
For
emergency
emergencies.
purposes, not to be checking where I'm at on a
Yeah.
Friday night.
Yeah.
I hope nobody checking my location. That's an
No.
invasion of
And you know what's
privacy.
crazy? You know, I'm turning my location off. I don't like that.
No,
Because,
there's
like,
nothing wrong with. I don't think
No,
there's anything
no.
wrong with it. I think it's really
Mm-mm.
important to have your location
Is
because
it?
look, people are crazy in this world.
Is it?
I think it is. Like,
why?
because what do you have to hide?
It's not about hiding his privacy.
It's not even just private.
No, but his privacy though, like not everybody. Because think about it, not everybody wants people to know like their every move.
But think about it like this:
you know what I'm talking about?
All you're doing is giving someone your location. If they don't know who's at that location, then what do they really know? So if that person knows whose address that is or whatever address that is, then they have you told them their business.
I'm talking from experience. Like
I get
my location was on Snapchat, and someone swore they knew my entire like life because they saw like, oh, this person's always at this point. At this certain time, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, private.
I don't really care about the location sharing thing. I only share with 2 people, and it's literally for my safety. Like the only person who kind of abuses that is like my dad, because sometimes, like you said, I see you speeding down the highway. Where are you going? Are you that bored? Like that's the only person who abuses
Not
it.
speeding.
But
you know,
talking about my icon moving fast. But outside of that, I share like with one other friend, and I don't care. Like even if I'm somewhere I'm not supposed to be, oh well, if you see it, you see it. Step to me if you're looking. Like you know what I mean? That's just kind of how I feel about it. Like
step to me.
Yeah, but I
don't like the side eye. Like if you know I'm at a nigga's house I'm not supposed to be, then just say something to me.
That's grounds for me to stop sharing with you. We don't have a conversation.
No, it's not about that. But I feel like some people are like funny with it, and to me it's like if you're bold enough to be actively looking at my location, and you feel the need to say something to me, then say it.
I'm not gonna lie. Like it is grounds for me to stop sharing my location, because I'm not gonna lie. To me, it's just like, yeah, I get it. You trying to be funny, but it's like, you're now invading my privacy, so it's not really funny.
But is it that though? Because sometimes when my dad just answers his phone, I do check his location, and when I'm already in the app, but if I'm already in the app and I see the other people, then what? Like they're already there. It's not like I'm going out of my way to say, oh, let me scroll the map. Where's so and so?
I get that, but then you're not going next to eyes. Like, oh, where you at? Like, mind your business.
Yeah, but
it's for emergency.
As far as the MOTO goes. Me personally, I think that you should drop that. But I think she should drop it.
I thought you
up
no,
him?
Oh, okay.
No, like drop the situation.
I said we are in a shortage of men.
No.
That is
Drop
a fixable offense.
Drop this.
Y'all act like the getting to know you stage is so easy.
No, drop this like what you're holding against him. But what you do need to figure out is why you even feel like why you feel the way you feel. Why do you feel like it was such an offense that this is like, and why this is such a big lie? And then also, why did you even feel the need to check his location?
Maybe because she doesn't like that he smokes, and so it's like
she needs to get to the root.
You know?
She needs to get to the root.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like you already are not smoking anymore. So he's doing something you're not participating in, and now he's lying too.
To be honest with you, as someone who does not smoke, I do try to pick partners that don't either. And partners, if they do smoke, it's more of a thing where it's like such an occasional. Like it's not like a weekly
daily thing.
It's not even a monthly thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like that's, and I think that it's important to just know what you want in a partner. You know, because you know that you don't want to engage in that, and you might want to be in that same level as him, and you're not able to do that. So therefore, like just pick your partners wisely.
Yeah, true. Because maybe it was a situation where he wants to smoke with other people, but he may feel ashamed talking to you. Because I've noticed that a lot of people because I really don't smoke either. And I feel like I know people that smoke. And sometimes like just in having that conversation, I feel like people feel so judged. Like you could be with somebody, oh, you want to smoke? You're like, oh no, I'm good. All of a sudden they're like, oh damn. And it's like, I didn't say you can't smoke.
Me saying no, you gonna do that whether I was here or not. So,
exactly.
Like,
and then all of a sudden now it's like they just feel so like you slapped them. You know what I mean? And so I feel like a lot of times people who do smoke, they do the same thing. So I feel like if they know they smoke daily, they don't want to have that feeling of smoking around somebody who doesn't smoke. So maybe to him, he's trying to find environments where he's smoking, but he don't want to tell you he's smoking with his friends. So he's telling you he's stopping by the dispensary, maybe picking up edibles because he doesn't want to feel like judged. So I think maybe it's y'all can have that conversation as well, just as far as like, okay, like I did notice that you went to the dispensary, but you also stopped by so and so's house. Like, I don't mind you smoking. Like, I don't want you to feel like you're sneaking around to smoke. Like, I never said you couldn't smoke around me, and don't make me, you know what I mean? Y'all can have that kind of conversation because it could just be that, honestly. It could be that simple.
I feel like it's that.
Well, I have a similar question on brand to that. How do y'all feel about sharing the passcode to your phone with your significant other?
No.
You
know what the thing is? Okay, so let me say this.
Not against it.
So I am not going to like purposely share it. Be like, okay, here. One day I'm not going to just sit down and be like, here's my passcode to my phone. But if Paulette knows my passcode because Paulette knows my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, And so I feel like if you know my life, then you know like what kind of like combos I use for the most part. And I don't want any hackers.
Yeah, like sometimes it's like you got sensitive things in your phone too.
But at the same time, like, yeah, so if you know me, then you know my passcode. Let's just be honest.
So I had a situation where a guy like brought it up and I was like, I'm not for it. And he kind of made it seem like, well, it would be the issue, like if we were together. And I'm just like, I just don't like it because it's my phone. Like it's so personal to me. Like I screenshot bullshit. I type up shit in my notes. Like it's just so personal to me. It doesn't matter. It's not that I'm hiding something. I'm not secretly talking to anybody. But like it's my phone.
But why do people feel entitled to everything? Like
that's what I'm saying.
It's not yours.
Yeah,
like, you don't. It's not your phone. Like
So why does he feel?
Why does he feel like he should be entitled to that?
He wasn't entitled to it. It's kind of like you said, like if you're talking to somebody and like y'all are that close, like they'll just know it. But to me, it was kind of just, I was like, I wouldn't want that. Like I don't want you to give me your passcode. Like I don't want I don't want to be in your phone. I just don't.
The thing is,
so
I
to
agree
me,
with her
because I
there,
don't want to be in your phone, I don't want you in mine.
Yeah.
It's not because I have anything to hide. It's
But
just my phone.
I think one of the most awkward phases to get over is the you flip your phone upside down.
I
like especially when
do that.
Especially when you're like getting to know somebody and dating somebody. I feel like I do that because usually I'm getting to know multiple people whenever I'm dating.
What do not disturb us for?
Yeah, that's true. Whenever it's important, you know what I'm saying. But like during like regular hours, I don't have my phone on do not disturb. So you have to get past that stage where like if they were to pick up your phone and hand it to you, you know without a doubt they wouldn't have nothing incriminating, you know?
Yeah.
So I think once you get past that stage, it's like, okay, if you have a passcode, you have a passcode. But at the same time, like I'm not gonna, like I said, just sit down and write it out for you one day.
Yeah.
But
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not against the passcode sharing. Like I'm really not. Okay, because this is how I feel. Y'all can have each other's passcodes, but that is not a green light to go through my phone whenever. Because I feel like in past relationships, it's always been a thing where it's like, maybe, oh, can you call this for me? What's your passcode? And it's really happened like that. It hasn't been a thing where it's like we sat down and been like, now we're exchanging passcodes. But it's just like maybe someone was close to the other person's phone, was looking through something, need a passcode to open it. And it's not like I'm storing it in my mind, but it's just like, I'm not going to go out of my way to lock you out of my phone. But just because you have my passcode doesn't mean you get to abuse that power. You know what I mean? And go through it whenever. So I feel like once it gets to that point where it's like, I'm going out of my way to keep my passcode from me because I don't want you going through my phone, then I'm going to start looking at you crazy. Like, okay, what do you have to hide so bad? Like, I can't call. Like, you have to call. I'm looking through something. Don't scroll. You snatching your phone.
Yeah, like, or people, it's so crazy how people don't even like, for example, like looking at something on their phone with someone else. Like, you know, they're dealing with that. I think that's so
I love
weird.
being next to a man who can
I'm like,
scroll
if
through.
I can come through, you look through your phone,
so crazy.
I'm not tripping. Like,
that was nice
honesty
until
hour.
you laid up in bed with somebody.
Somebody the FaceTiming.
No, you laid up in bed with somebody and literally like you're all scrolling through like their phone together, and next thing you know, like a text message comes through like saying good morning, babe.
Okay, Nikki.
Immediately, who is babe?
Let me teach you something. Oh, that happened on his phone?
Happened on his phone, not my phone. Girl,
Jori
I would never
said,
get,
let me teach
I would
you
never
something.
get
First off, why is your message preview?
I would never get caught up like that. First off,
My bad.
And
I was like, what?
Yeah, I would
At
never
least
get caught
keep
up.
a P. At least turn your message previews off. Like what?
I would never get caught up like that. But yeah, he definitely got caught up, and I was just like, oh no, let me get up out of this bed.
No. I've been with some stone cold niggas where you swipe up, nothing's there because they don't even have notifications come to that lock screen. That like, no, please.
That's too much.
It is too much.
That's
why I need to be around somebody who can be natural with their
Yeah.
phone. If I grab it, it's not gonna be a
that
fight.
sucks. Like you can't even be normal with your phone around people.
Facts.
But yeah,
So I guess to conclude that motto, we don't think you should break up with him. We think that it's worth the conversation.
honest
So
communication.
update us, sis. Let us know how that goes. But we're gonna jump into the petty chronicle, and I do have a petty chronicle. So y'all just have to let me know if I was petty. I feel like I kind of was, but I feel like maybe I wasn't. Okay, so and this happened a while ago, but it literally crossed my mind, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna say this on the pod and get y'all's opinions. So I went over to this person's house or whatever. This person is we call him a significant other. Maybe we were building. I don't know. So I went over to their house, and I noticed that like I don't know, guys be messy sometimes. I'm like, you wasn't expecting company, like you got dishes and all this other stuff. So I'm just being nice. I think I said something like, you know, I think I had cooked something. I know we talked about cooking last time. So every now and then I'll be in the kitchen, y'all. I know I'll be pick Misha every now and then. So, but this is back in the gap. This is back in the gap when I was the pick me back then, y'all. I'm delivered now. But what's it called? So I think I had cooked, and I was like, you know what? And maybe because I'm the type of person, right? And tell me if y'all feel me. If I cook something and I'm about to wash my dish. I feel really weird about just washing my own dish and putting it
wash
up.
everything.
Yeah, you gotta wash.
You know what I
everything.
mean? I feel like you can't just wash your own shit. Like I feel like you gotta wash
Either you
everything.
don't wash it, or you don't. You wash everything, you don't wash it all.
Exactly, because then it's just like they hear the dishes going, and it's just like, dang, this your boat? Okay, so I was like, I remember looking at it and being like, okay, the dishwasher's full. So I think I told him like, oh, okay, I'm gonna clear out the dishwasher and I'm just gonna put the dishes up, right? So I was doing that. Mind you, this is me. Out of the kindness of my heart. I decided I was gonna do this. So I was clearing out the dishes. I remember just being like, okay, this is a lot. I went through and I rinsed everything out. I rinsed all the dishes, put them on like the right side, just so I could remember to wash them later. And then I cleared the dishes off. But then later on, I forgot what happened. Like time got past me and I ended up leaving and forgetting about it. I think we end up like getting into it. Something happened and I'm just like, I'm not washing these dishes anymore. I'm leaving. So then afterwards, like he tried to catch an attitude and he was like, why would you say that he was like, why would you wash the dishes and at least not like put them up? And he was like, cause he said, you said you was gonna put the dishes up, but then you didn't. Like, why would you say you was gonna do something and not do it? But in my head, I was like, I didn't have to do it at all. So I really didn't see the big problem. And I was actually confused because I was like, I never washed the dishes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do you keep saying I washed them? And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, you washed the dishes and I had to put them up. And in my head, I was like, those dishes wasn't clean.
Mm-hmm.
I literally just rinsed them with water. And I wanted to be like, those dishes are not clean. Like, do not use those dishes. But in my head, I was like, you have the nerve to call me, so eat them dirty dishes. Who told you? Like, why do you feel so entitled for me? You're really calling my phone to tell me that I didn't put the dishes up and you think I washed them. You know what I mean? Like, that's incredibly rude. So I didn't say anything. And I just let him, like, keep them dirty dishes in his
Serves him
cabinet.
well.
So was that petty?
Yeah, but serves him well. Yeah, like, cause he started it though. That
I mean, he already called and checks at this point. Those dishes are dirty. You're mad. You're actually supposed to be big mad.
Yeah, you're mad when you find out they're dirty.
Michelle, you should have told
no,
him.
Because then it would have been a different conversation. No, it's dirty.
Either way, he was already tripping. So trip
Yeah.
harder.
Yeah, like, let him know that
Trip on
those
dirty
dishes are
dishes.
dirty.
No,
If I find out I'm eating off of dirty dishes, I'm about to be
rinsing off plates before you.
You know what? You're out of there.
Mind you, I did rinse them. I rinsed them all. They just weren't washed.
To like put them in the dishwasher to like start the dishwasher. Oh, but you didn't start the dishwasher.
Because I think some people, right, and I'm not that person. Some people, when they wash their dishes, they wash them and put the clean dishes on the side to dry, and then they put them up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think he thought that's what I was doing. I think he thought that I cleaned them and they must have dried in the sink, and he came and just put them up straight to the cabinet.
So the only thing I'm gonna be honest with you, like, why were you washing a dish? Why would you rinse a dish and not wash it?
Because it was a dishwasher. So his dishwasher was full. So I was like, let me just go through, rinse them, clear the dishwasher out, and then load the dishwasher.
Oh, but you didn't load it.
I didn't load it.
Oh, okay.
Because I rinsed it. I think I started like putting up the dishwasher.
That's already a lot. She put up dishes that she didn't even put into the dishwasher to begin with.
No, I agree.
And I had just cooked.
And that's the reason why you have to stand your ground and not do shit.
I told you I'm delivered.
That.
Because
Next thing you know, they think you Molly the maid.
Yeah, and then they're assigning you tasks in the kitchen, and it's like, first of all, hey, don't even live here, so like, assign yourself these tasks.
The way somebody just asked me to cook for them, and my answer was, you must not listen to my last episode. No.
Oh my gosh, men are just,
Y'all are crazy with this whole
okay.
we'll revisit that later on in the future, because I hope y'all are delivered later on.
Delivered from what?
The not cooking phase.
It's not a not cooking phase. It's I'm not cooking for a man that is not my nigga. So that part.
Well, it's not my nigga.
If he's not my man, I'm not cooking for you.
But at what point does he become your man? Like,
if he's not my man, I'm not cooking. Listen, if you're not my man, I'm not cooking for you. Don't expect any meals. Be hungry.
I feel like Blac Chyna or Angela White is the one who's kind of got everyone like talking and more so in an uproar. But there have been a pattern of socialites that have come to God and become delivered, become saved. But like we said, Angela White is one of the, aka Blac Chyna, is one of the newest ones that we have seen. So she kind of gave us bits and pieces throughout like a timeline. At first it was she's like removing her butt injection, she's removing some of her fillers.
No, I think it started she got baptized.
But she didn't post that she got baptized. So
she did, and people was dragging her because she got baptized in the swimming pool.
But I thought that she recently posted that she got baptized, because she got baptized last year in like May or something like that. But I feel like she didn't until recently post that she got baptized.
I remember the pool thing.
Okay.
I don't.
See, I don't remember that either.
Yeah.
I didn't even know she got baptized. Okay. I'm like, this is news to me.
Definite mean.
So, well, with regards to the timeline, so she got baptized. She started to remove fillers, her butt injections, and then she decided to document that she got. Let me make sure I'm saying this right because I'm a child of God. So a Baphomet.
Baphomet, yeah.
Yeah. So Baphomet tattoo that was previously tattooed, I think on her butt. Was it on her butt? I don't know where that was at. Her thigh,
yeah.
One of those areas. So she went through, and a Baphomet is a symbol that has a lot of ties to
The Illuminati.
to demonic whatever. Okay. So she decided to go on that. But yeah, so a lot of people are talking about it. I feel like I see mixed reviews whenever it comes to it. Some people are like, they're really, really happy for her. And some people are like, it's just kind of like a phase. Like some people are just like, she's just doing this again to get money. And another thing that she did was she actually deleted her OnlyFans page that was bringing in millions of dollars for her. She was one of the highest paid people on OnlyFans. And she actually ended up deleting that due to her newfound spiritual journey and being saved. So how y'all feel?
I'm not mad at it.
She looks great.
That's hate.
No, she looks
Against
great.
it.
She looks good.
She looks great. But one thing about Blac Chyna, she's always like, to me, has dressed very well and all the other stuff, but she's been in the media for like so many like negative things. The people are always recording her, like when she's in the airport and alleging that she's on drugs and stuff like that. So I think it's important for her to I think she owes it to herself, and she owes it kind of to everybody who was like dragging her to show them a new her. Like if I was her, I would do the same thing. Like, okay, y'all was okay clowning me at my worst when I was looking this and that, and now that I'm actually doing better for myself, y'all saying I'm doing too much. Like, no, she owes it to her kids to present to the world a new her. So,
and I think she's like definitely coming out like with a different look, like more like she's like very natural, like no makeup.
She got rid of her long nails.
It's very. I love it. I think that Blac Chyna has Angela White has always been, like you said, someone that's been in the media, and I've liked her personality even throughout her ups and downs. So I'm really happy for her, and like other celebrities that are as well on the spiritual journey. Like we talked about Olivia Song a few episodes ago. Well, that's
Alexis
one thing.
Sky and all them.
Alexis Sky, B. Simone.
B. Simone.
Yeah.
Is that new? She's been like that.
Well, I mean, the people that people that
I don't know if she's been.
I've never known her for that until her podcast recently.
Exactly.
For me, at least.
Before that, remember she even had the $1 million, the $1 billion documentary for her.
Her $1 million, but that it didn't have anything to do with God.
I mean, she talked about like manifesting, and she came out like manifesting journals.
But now she's talking about God.
Okay, I see what y'all mean.
Yeah.
I'll say this, and it's no shade in regards to like Blac Chyna, what she has going on, but like I read an article or some girl I follow talked about it, like how a lot of celebrities, like they're tired of normal people, non-celebrities being able to look like them by getting their butts done and fillers and teeth and breasts, and a lot of these celebrities are removing all the work that they had done to go back to their regular selves because they're like how looking like them is so accessible now. And I'm not gonna lie, like that's a different take.
Like based on the same
it makes sense because I feel like it's kind of a trend too. Look at it. Look at the Kardashians.
So many people look
all
like
of them. They removed their stuff.
Well, they posted a picture of Kim today, and that butt still looks like it's back there. She might have made
Same
them
for Kylie.
thighs a little smaller.
No, I feel like they got it smaller. I don't think they got it all the way removed, but they definitely got it smaller than what it was because if y'all remember Kim and Khloe.
A mess.
Yeah.
I'm crying at a mess. No, but okay, have y'all seen that video that's going around about how like they talk about the black guys discuss their favorite hairstyles on black women?
Yeah.
How y'all feel about that? Because like
cool.
it's been like
What
a lot
you
of positive feedback and negative feedback. A lot of people are like, y'all say y'all like natural hair, but it's only a certain type of natural hair that y'all want. And then I think there were some guys who were clearly, I guess, not into women. And saying like, oh, they want to bust down mid apart, and they were like, it's y'all's best friends leading y'all astray. We want y'all in natural hair and all that other stuff.
So I've had the same guy actually send it to me 3 times.
Why are you trying to send a message?
And every time I ask him like, so is this what you want? Because if this is what you want, that's not what I am.
Ooh,
yeah.
And I feel like I have to make it clear, like, just on a natural day, you're not going to find me in straight backs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just who I am. And there's nothing wrong with wearing straight backs. Like, I think that braids look beautiful on a lot of different women, but it's not my favorite hairstyle. And so therefore, I have to tell him, like, if this is what you want, this is what you need to seek. And don't seek that in me.
Yeah. Like,
because the fact that you sent this to me 3 times on 3 separate occasions with time in between.
It's like, what are you?
Did you think you not see it 1, 2?
Yeah, and at this, don't get me wrong. Like, I was like, man, maybe I should consider it. Like, maybe he's just telling me, like, this is gonna look so good on me. But I'm like, this is not the hairstyle for me.
But have y'all noticed though that like in different hairstyle you do pull different kinds of men?
Yep.
Yes, without a doubt.
Yes. Oh yes.
And I'm not looking for the hey queen.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Wow,
I'm not looking for the good morning, good
Grand
rising,
rising.
Rising queen.
I'm not looking for that.
Beautiful natural locks. No, don't. I'm not saying I don't want it. I'm not. It's just no.
I think what a lot of men fail to realize is like how time consuming it is to deal with your natural hair. You know what I mean? Like,
it is. It's not
I might
easy.
want to wear my hair like that, but I just don't have the time to adhere to that beauty maintenance. So while you may like it, that's cool. But because you're not the one having to do that maintenance, no.
And 2, like, it just may not be fitting my vibe or my look I'm going for. So it's just not gonna go. Like, cause honestly, like, I've had men tell me too, oh, you with your natural hair. Listen, I've tried it. It didn't really, I liked it for a little bit, but it just didn't vibe. Like, it's like something you could do in between, but it will not be a solid, permanent hairstyle for me.
No.
I'm not saying I don't like my natural hair. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's
Gotta
just don't go with my vibe.
clarify
Yeah, you have to clarify.
It's just not my vibe.
And that's the
We'll
thing,
go
'cause
in.
I feel like you have to be in what you're comfortable with. Because same like you, Nikki, like I had a
Absolutely.
guy ask me multiple times, like, why don't you just wear your hair in its natural state? I don't want to. It's not that I don't like it. It's too time consuming. If it was that easy, I would do that. And so unfortunately, you're asking for that. You're not going to get that because it's too time consuming. I'm just not doing that.
True, but with that being said, that's why in my journey with hair, I've learned to like start trying different hairstyles so you give yourself a variety. You know what I'm saying?
that's very
but it will never be a thing where like a man tells me, oh girl, you better go get you some single box braids. I'm gonna do it. No, sorry, I know you like it, but like it.
I just want to touch base on this real quick. So this celebrity has the black girlies up in an uproar.
Who?
Jonathan.
Who's that?
Majors.
Major. I don't even know who
Majors.
that is.
How do y'all not know who that is? He's actually
Never mind.
He's
Actually,
actually
that's what, I didn't know. This is like
so he's from the DFW area. He's from Dallas.
from Creed, Lovecraft Country.
Well, Lovecraft Country, Creed 3. Recently he was in the headlines because he was not convicted, but charged with domestic violence and assault against a partner. I think it was actually his girlfriend or the mother of his child. Maybe
I think his girlfriend.
I think they have a child. Well, whichever one it is, his girlfriend. And basically, from what I read, it started out as she saw someone that was on his phone. They were in a cab together or in an Uber together. They got into an argument. That argument led into a house, and she claimed that he hit her or strangled her. A couple different things. Yeah. I think it was strangled, actually.
He claimed that she did or she claimed that he did?
She claimed that he did it.
Okay.
But later on, I think a few days later, Jonathan's lawyer said that all charges were dropped and that she recanted her statement.
Did you see the text messages they released?
I read it today.
I'm like, they released text messages and they did not, I'm sorry, it didn't do what y'all thought it was going to do.
What were the
You look
messages?
so guilty. Like in the messages, she's like, I've talked to them and I let them know that it's all my fault because I grabbed your phone. Actually, let me not make her sound like that because she is the victim. But the text messages, it definitely read and definitely gave like, I am a victim, but I am taking responsibility for how you abused me and how you treated me because I am in this toxic cycle of like abuse.
Really?
Because she's like, I take full responsibility. I
It
told
wasn't
them.
supposed to be like that. Like, it sounds like somebody who has been in that type of situation before. Like, they're trying to absolve all, like, you just basically assaulted me and I'm trying to make you feel better.
Yeah, she was
Why?
like, I saw the strangulation report. In the hospital, they had to give her like a strangulation document, and I told them that that's not what happened and that I just passed out. But I'm like, if the hospital saw you and felt the need to hand you a document or paper on strangulation, that means that you had signs of strangulation on you. So like, this text message did not do what you thought it did. It just made her look like more
And
of
it's
a
so
victim.
crazy. So actually, after this came to light, a lot of people in
Came forward.
Hollywood came forward saying that this is something that he's well known for.
I saw a lot of tweets like that. I think one of the tweets, I saw two different ones. One was a guy who was like, I'm so glad this has finally come to light. He was like, I have so many friends who have been assaulted by this man, and people were mad at him like, well, then speak up for them. He was like, no, it's not for me. It's not my story to tell. I'm not speaking up for them, but I know that he has assaulted people I personally know, so I'm glad that this story is out.
And I saw a woman come forward too.
And I saw another tweet that someone posted like weeks ago, and they were like, I see a lot of y'all on the timeline are raving about this certain particular actor. If you guys really knew that he was a horrible human being, like he's known for domestic violence, and people are trying to say that tweet was about him. Because he's been in the press a lot. He's been talked about a lot on Twitter lately about how he looks and does he cosplay as a slave. Girl, all that. Yeah, girl.
Does he what?
They're trying to say he gives like slave looks. Like a lot of
I don't even like hearing that.
It's a Twitter argument. But
no.
Anyways, prayers for all the involved. Well, prayers for everything, but everyone but Jonathan Majors, honestly.
But how do y'all feel that it's against a woman of Caucasian race?
That's
it won't change anything. It could be you can be brown, purple, blue. It's still not okay.
Yeah,
I understand that people say like innocent until proven guilty, but like I'm gonna believe with the victim every time. Like I'm not necessarily gonna speak out for the victim, but I feel like until justice is shown that this person is truly innocent, like it's kind of hard for me to side with somebody who's doing something that's illegal and has abuse to somebody.
Except on the other hand, and not to take too much away from this conversation, did you hear about what happened with Duty Low from OTF?
No.
So Duty Low, he was the guy who was accused by FTM Bay, which at the time was his girlfriend, of sexually assaulting
her son.
Mm-hmm. And he's been saying for a long time that she's making it up, all this other stuff. And it wasn't till, and today is Thursday, just so y'all know, March 30th. But today he came out with a whole, like pretty much just screenshots of like 6 other reports of her doing the same thing within the course of a year. Actually, I'm saying within the course of a year, but like 3 or 4 of those incidents was in the course of like 60 days of her like accusing a football coach, another football coach,
really?
Someone else, like all these people. And the police, when they got involved, they even said like, okay, so do you want us to press charges? And she was like, no. And the police report said that she didn't want to press charges. And they were like, well, we're going to have to anyway. Like, we're going to have to get the detective involved. And she like went away. And then when they went to the hospital, because the hospital had to like do an examination, which is very traumatizing for a child. They ask you a lot of questions and all these other things. They said they couldn't find any evidence of forced trauma to corroborate the story. And then the doctor even came out and said like, this is not the first time this has happened. And they're starting to, they think that she may have like a mental illness, which is kind of giving Munchausen by proxy. Yeah. So at this point, that's when everyone's starting to say like, okay, we do need to start like actually hearing both sides, because I'm not gonna lie, until this day I thought he did it because
me too,
because she had the kid on video like saying this is what he did to me, all this other stuff, and everyone's saying okay, even regardless if the story is true or not, if these 6 things did happen, at one point as a mom you did put him in a position for this to happen 6 times. At what point do you stop letting him have, like I don't know, like they're like either this happened 6 times and this is true and you had to admit to some form of negligence, or you're lying. Either way,
that's
like,
I mean, because I mean, men and women do it. Like, if, for example, like they're with someone and like that person doesn't want to be like, with them anymore, they'll create something. And like sometimes that, in creating a story, it can tarnish somebody's image, career, and name. Like, especially things like rape and with a kid.
Sure.
It is hard to come back from that. We see it happen a lot from a lot of people, even people in normal community. Like, it is hard to come back from stuff when you're falsely accused. So I feel like everyone, I don't know, I think
in this situation, I think in this situation, the guy, he kind of made it a duty to make sure that he like proved that his innocence.
And I
he even countersued her.
He went as far as like he did a lie detector test, and he did countersue her, and she actually ended up getting arrested.
Yeah,
and I'm happy he did that,
I
because
think
like
it's a lot, like 110 million or something like that. But she doesn't have to pay it right
like,
now.
That's crazy. Someone's trying to label you as like a pedophile. That's not okay.
I think that's even to my point is like, I don't want to be vocal about that type of stuff. Because like I said, like a lot of people believed her and he proved his innocence. So to me, it's kind of like, I actually like to see things play out in the court of law. Yeah. Like honestly, I prefer to do that before I go out to speak. And like, do I think certain stuff is damaging? It may look you a little crazy. Yeah, but I'm not going to ever ride one way or the other for either person until truth has been brought to a situation. So,
definitely.
No, true. I definitely feel that.
You see everything in black and white.
That's why I'm prayers for both of those families, because I feel like everybody there is, especially when it plays out in the public eye, it's the worst, because it's just like, damn, like how do you just like go back to normal and just live your life knowing that everywhere you go people are looking at you, everyone knows what happens behind closed doors, you know what I mean? There's really no winners in that situation. So,
and I also want to just before we get into our topic, I just want to say a quick prayers out to all the families that were affected by the Colorado shooting, the 6 victims, that the 3 children, the 3 adults that did lose their lives. Our prayers are with the entire community, everyone that's been affected. Yeah, we gotta change some things. So
No facts. I did have one last question before we jump into our topic. Did y'all see that girl who went on 2 dates in 24 hours?
yes, and she went by herself.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait,
The girl from the TikTok video?
Yeah.
She
What
done was on a
happened?
date by herself.
Yeah.
Oh my
they said she went by
gosh.
herself.
And
What
they
do
were
you mean? What happened?
this girl went out and she was like, follow me, go on 2 dates in 24 hours.
Okay.
And they were kind of dragging her saying, man, these are how women are using you and this and that and da-da-da. And so people were like, you ghost this, like you're dating, what you're supposed to do. But apparently
People think it's fake. I didn't even see the 2 take that you gave.
Yeah.
But my thing, she's single, like mingle. But
Yeah.
people were
but-
saying that she really wasn't on dates.
Yeah, people were saying that she actually was by herself, but then people were also
How do
saying
they know that?
I don't know. Okay, I guess
They were saying
I think
just
she talked
based-
about her. Yeah, the way that they.
I'm not gonna lie, for that to be your first date with somebody, she was doing a lot of
A lot.
recording.
Oh,
Like
yeah, she
I've
was.
seen people go on a first date and record some, but like it definitely gave.
She
You
was
were
doing,
setting
like-
up your tripod everywhere. And
Yeah,
doing what she had to do.
axe throwing
Oh,
and stuff
but
like
she-
that.
they said
a
she
lot
slipped-
of people do that.
But they said she slipped up at one point. Was like, this would be a perfect place for
For
a solo
single.
date.
Mhm.
And they were like, yeah, that's because you was on one.
Yeah, but
Oh,
but
yeah.
then some people were coming to her defense and they were saying that she actually like records her dates very often, and she will actually record whenever she goes out and like looks like when she goes out on solo dates and she's like recording other single people. So I don't know.
Somebody
But
dragged
This
the
is
hell out of her on
getting
Twitter.
out of hand.
Somebody said, I actually know this girl and she's pretty much a bum. She'll do anything for a free meal. So I'm not shocked that she really was on a date with 2 men in the same day. But yeah, they think she was really on a date because they're like, if you watch her TikTok, she begs. Like she'll go out by herself and beg men
Okay.
at the bar to pay for her
Oh
food.
wait, is she the one who was just like me, watch me sit here
Yes,
to try
that's
to see
her.
someone pay for my food?
People were just like, she probably really was on a date because if she can do that,
Ew.
why would she not, you know?
See, digital
Lightweight begging
footprint.
on the internet.
Digital footprint is important. See, you done posted that one video, and now
Yeah.
people out here calling you a Begghiana. Sad.
That's so embarrassing.
But you know, that brings us to what we do want to talk about this episode, and we're really just talking about forgiveness. Last episode we talked about like giving ourselves grace and holding ourselves accountable, and just like to keep on that same note of just like, you know, self-growth and self-development, I want to talk about forgiveness. So I guess I want to talk to y'all and ask y'all, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how easy or do you consider yourself a forgiving person?
Yes,
For sure.
absolutely. Yeah, heavy on
Heavy on the
too
too forgiving. Yeah.
Not even
On
too
a scale of
forgiving,
1 to
just
10,
like
I'm like a 20.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm
I
like-
forgive way too much.
but it's in my heart, my nature. So like,
So do you
Yeah.
think, okay, so do you think that there's anything that's could be labeled like unforgivable? I know we use the word unforgivable a lot, but is there anything that truly is unforgivable?
You know what the crazy part is? I feel like that actually recently happened to me where someone did something that's unforgivable, but then I feel like whenever I bring that act up to people around me, they are like, you should just get over it. It's like really not as big of a deal as you making it out to be. But to me, it was actually like a really, really big deal. It was like it crossed all my boundaries. But then
There you go then.
it crossed all my boundaries. But then when you talk to the people around you, they're kind of like, oh, well, it's really not as bad as you make it seem. And so I don't know. I feel like it's unforgivable, but the people around me kind of make it seem like it's not.
Can I say something to that? I feel like, you know how you said like all your boundaries were crossed? I don't even need input from the outside world. You were violated. I don't, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, even to me, to give you advice on that situation, I wouldn't even have brought that situation to anyone else because, like, if your boundaries were violated, like, that's it.
No,
You know
without
what
a
I'm
doubt.
saying?
It's not like
because other
it's-
people have different boundaries.
No, I
too,
agree, but it's not
so.
like my opinion's not going to change
Mhm.
regardless. But you know, when you're trying to like just like vent,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're getting the kind of like almost like, oh, well, is it really as big of a deal as you're making it out to be? Or you like,
Mhm.
are you kind of like boosting it? So it's not a thing where I'm gonna change my mind
Yeah.
on if it's forgivable or not.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just one of those things where it's like, now I can't really vent.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if you had to choose, would you rather forgive somebody or be forgiven?
Oh,
Be forgiven. Because it's easy for me to forgive, and I'm not gonna lie. When I'm on the other end, it's not
It's
that
so
I'm like it's so hard because like I get so annoyed when you continue to bring it up. And if we've already talked about it and decided to move forward, let's move forward. So I'd rather like I just no, I don't like that. Mm-mm.
So do you think forgiving and moving forward is like it goes hand in hand?
It depends on the person.
No, I don't think it does.
No.
I think just because you forgive someone doesn't mean you have to move forward with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And I
true.
think vice versa.
Yeah.
Just because you did I think a lot of people move forward with people and have not forgiven them. You know, so it's like
Definitely.
That's true. Well, I mean, but would you say that they've actually moved forward with? Oh, you mean move forward just as far as like kept them
Like
in their
swept
life?
it under, like they just
Yeah.
kept going. Yeah.
or not even just kept it, but actually stayed with that person. Like
Yeah.
there's so many people that are in relationships now that are still moving forward every day, but they have not forgiven some acts that have happened in the past. And
Yeah.
it's just because sometimes you have to bite the bullet on certain things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't think that you can put both of them hand in hand. There's no way. Absolutely not.
But with me, in order for me to move forward, I have to forgive you. I can't move forward and not forgive you. Does that make sense? Because it's like, no. In order for me to move forward, I have to forgive you. Because if not, I'm not moving forward.
I can't say that.
Me neither.
I've definitely moved forward and I hadn't forgave somebody.
Me too.
But the thing about me though is like, because I know that, I know how to manage myself. Like I'm not going to continue bringing it up. That's why when Michelle asked the question, that's why I'd rather someone forgive me than me forgive somebody, because I don't like that constant like question, because I know how to reserve that if I do that. So to me, it's like, I don't have time for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to be like that, but that's a lot of stress on the body. And like, So I told myself, like, I have to actually practice these things. Like, dang, if I'm going to wholeheartedly forgive somebody, I got to forgive them and move past it. That's it. There can't be a thing where you're like constantly going back and like, oh,
But you don't have to. You don't have to
I don't think it's
constantly
that.
go back. That's the thing. Just because you haven't forgiven someone doesn't mean you have to constantly go back and keep bringing it up.
But it's
like
not about
moving.
But you gotta think about things though. If you're not over something, there are gonna be certain things that happen. It's gonna trigger you because you're not over that.
So
So you know
here's
what I'm
my
saying?
question. So what? How do you know somebody's forgiven them? Because in my head, when I think about it, for me, it's like I've essentially forgiven you, but I feel like I've changed. Like now, I don't really look at you the same. I don't really have the same trust. So I think that is why, like, I'm forgiving that situation, but I'm just moving with you a little bit smarter.
True.
So is
And I
that
think it's
considered
kinda-
forgiveness?
I think it's kind of like our last episode. I think it was you, Jori, that had said like, whenever certain things are done to you repeatedly, you start to like become like numb to certain things. And I think that that's kind of the same situation where it's like you have decided to stay in that situation. You're deciding to move forward, but now due to what has happened in the past, like it's like you just decided to move differently, and now like certain things are not going to get to you the way that they were before. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you've forgiven them, but it just means that you've, moved past that.
No, I agree, because I would definitely say like I'm a forgiver, but I'm not a forgetter. Like that's me. Like I will forgive you. Like I won't hold it against you. Like you'll probably never hear from it again. I'll probably forgive you as soon as it happened. But one thing I'm not gonna do is forget the way that it made me feel, and forget that you're capable of doing that.
Exactly.
That's always gonna be a learning lesson that I'm never gonna forget. So as I move forward with our relationship or friendship, I'm always gonna remember that you are capable of hurting me, and you're very reckless with the way that you move because you can hurt me so easily. So I'm going to forgive you, but I'm not gonna forget. So whenever we're in that situation again, I'm gonna let that be a
driving force.
driving force to how I handle it.
Yep. That's exactly how I feel. But then, like, at what point does it become like you're forgiving, or you're becoming like now you're like kind of like a fool?
Is it a fool or is it?
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
I
was gonna say
feel
jaded, but a fool.
No, I wouldn't say jaded, but
a
like
fool.
like just because I feel like sometimes, and I can only speak on women, but I feel like women do this a lot where they just automatically like, I'm just going to forgive it and just move on. So that way, like, it doesn't become like a big deal. But then at what point, like,
Should you not forgive? Is that what you're asking?
yeah, should you not forgive? And like, you're actually like becoming a fool by forgiving.
It's kind of like the standard, like, once you let somebody play with you once, they're going to do it again. It's like, I see what you're saying. Like, okay, what if they do whatever bullshit again? But it's kind of just like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I feel like I think it goes to I was saying earlier, like as far as like, yeah, you could forgive, but why are you forgetting? Why are you forgetting? Like you can forgive, because I feel like a lot of times, at least for me, forgiveness is for self. Forgiveness is definitely for self, because it's like you do carry, at least me personally, you carry that with you. Like I don't want to be full of hate all the time. Like sometimes I want to just like not have the burden of thinking about that and having that cross my mind. But at the same time, I would be a fool to put myself in the exact same situation, knowing who you are. Like if I went somewhere and I was waiting on you, even we will keep it even simple. Say I have a hairstylist and I book with you for a major appointment. I have hey, let's dream big here. Like I got booked for the Oscars, okay? And you're supposed to do my hairstyle before I hit the carpet at 7, and you cancel on me before the Oscars. I can forgive you. Like, it's not going to be beef.
I'll
But
never
do you
forget.
think that I'm going to book with you again?
For a
No.
major event at
For
that?
a major event? No, and it's not because I didn't forgive you, but I would be a fool to give you an opportunity to make me look stupid twice. Like, that's just real. But yeah. Oscars.
Call me.
I don't even know what I have to do to get there, but let's get there.
So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Have y'all forgiven all of your exes?
Yeah. Yes.
Don't be so quick to answer, everyone. I say,
Okay, no. I'm lying. No. And only reason why, because no, like, I remember there was a point in time I was going through a very dark period, and I remember everything that people did in that moment. And that is a period that, like, I will always think back and remember the shit that went on, and I can't forget. I can't even forgive you at that. I mean, I've forgiven you, but I wouldn't, like, we didn't move forward for a reason, because it was just the action was just, yeah, we couldn't move past that. We could not, unfortunately.
I would love to say I have forgiven, but it's kind of like Michelle said, like, I haven't forgotten. So then, like, I haven't forgotten so much that I'm like, maybe I haven't forgiven.
No, like, it's just a memory, but it's cool. It's the memory.
It's no hard feelings up here in me. I feel like it was a point in time where I was in that stage of unforgiveness, but that's because, like, I don't know, I equate, like, keeping that forgiveness is, like, it's keeping me attached to you.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm starting to confuse the hate with love, and I have to just, like, cut the ties.
Yeah.
I gotta cut
It
the
definitely
ties.
is. Like, it has you, like, in a shackle almost. Like,
Definitely.
whenever you are so upset with somebody and, like, you just cannot forgive them, it literally, like, it keeps you attached to them.
Definitely.
So much. Whereas, like, if you actually, like, forgave them, I mean, have you ever forgiven somebody, and not even just an ex, but just anybody in your life, and you really have forgiven them, and you almost feel like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, which brings me to a question. Okay, how do you know, like, you've forgiven somebody? Like, how do you know? Because, I mean, you can say, like, oh, I forgive you, but then it's like 2 weeks later, you're just, like, thinking about it. Like, how do you know, like, in your heart, like, as you said, like, that weight's lifted off, but how do you know, like,
When
okay,
I
I'm
look
actually
at you, don't want to
forgiven?
knock your head off your shoulder.
Yeah, like, if I've forgiven that person, like, if I ever, the situation comes up in my mind, I don't get emotional behind it. That's how I know I've, like, over it.
That's
You know what I mean?
actually something that I asked somebody recently, and I was like, okay, like, you could be past the situation, but like you said, it crosses your mind, and it's like, I think that just is a tale of time. Like, there's just certain people who you cross paths with in your life that no matter what, like, they're gonna cross your mind, whether it's forgiveness, not forgiveness, it's beef, whatever. And I just feel like it's okay, like, because I used to think to myself, like, damn, like, why does this person keep coming up in my mind? And I just had to realize, like, bro, it's just a lifetime thing. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to make it seem like it's more than what it is. Because like you said, is it love? Is it hate? And it's like, no, like, this person just played an impact in my life, and they're going to cross my mind at some point, and it's okay.
And you know
Nothing
what? Not even just that. I think that you kind of start to realize, like, because in the beginning, those thoughts come up a lot more often. And then I feel like over time, when you have actually, like, just gotten past it, it now takes, like, really, like, a true trigger for that to, like, make you memorize or remember something. And I feel like that's when I kind of realized, like, dang, I'm actually over it. You know, like, I don't think about this person like that. Like, I would probably have to see this person or see someone that's connected to that person to really even think about them. And so that's why I'm like, oh yeah, it's a non-factor for real now.
And sometimes you don't even realize that maybe that situation even calls for forgiving until, like, you're in a situation, like you said, where you're triggered and you remember and you're like, okay, I didn't even realize that I was holding on to this for this long. But now I realize, like, I actually need to make peace with this because it's going to keep coming up until I make peace. And sometimes it's not even about forgiving the other person. It's like, okay, at this point, like, I think I just need to forgive myself. I need to forgive myself in that situation. I need to forgive myself for, like, the part that I played in it because there's a reason I can't let this go. So it's like, if forgiving him or her don't work, then maybe I need to forgive me.
And not even just that. I think that you forgive a lot easier just when you're in a better place. You know, like, when you're in a better place in life and you're in such a different mindset and your heart is, like, full, your spirit is full, it's so hard for people to really even be able to get to you. You know, like, things that have happened to you in your past, it's just so much harder. Like, it's like literally, like, you just feel like, dang, like, God has this, like, armor up against me, like, where nothing can really touch me.
Definitely.
So that happens a lot too.
Okay. Yep. So since we mentioned, like, forgiving, or at least I'm forgiving myself, what do you think, or what has been harder for you in the past? Like, forgiving yourself or forgiving somebody else?
Forgiving myself.
And I mean, feel free to elaborate.
I don't know. Like, I just forgiven myself for like putting myself in situations where I know that it wasn't serving me, or like going back to situations that like it just was not good for my mental health. Like, just because I care for that person, just because I have a lot of love for that person, it still wasn't good for me. So I should have really like left that situation alone. But I mean, one thing about myself, I am a tough critic on myself. You know, I'm an overthinker too. So when certain things happen, I come down so hard on myself, and like that's something I work on myself every day, giving myself more grace. Because sometimes I feel like I feel like I handle myself like a punching bag sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like, damn, Paula, like you are too hard on yourself. Like, chill. You know what I'm saying? But that's like a situation, and like honestly too, like learning to accept like sometimes it's okay when you make a mistake. Mistakes are supposed to happen so you can learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, not all mistakes are meant to like leave a scar on you. Sometimes a mistake is meant to like, you know, better you and just like learn from something. So when it comes up again, you will not make that same mistake again. You'll actually be an advisor to that situation. So yeah.
For me, it's always been about like forgiving myself, because I've never received an apology that justified what was done to me. Never. I'm sorry. It's never happened. And I think as somebody who used to wait for apologies to try to justify someone's behaviors, and realizing that answer that I got back never justified why they did that to me, it's harder for me to forgive myself, because like I feel like I'm very forgiving. So it's like putting myself in situations and forgiving somebody multiple times is like, that's on you at this point. You know what I mean? So it's like just kind of like learning myself and learning how to establish boundaries made me really realize like, damn, like you don't have to forgive yourself if you set boundaries. Like people are not going to play in your face if you set boundaries, like clear as day. Like coming to that realization, like it took a lot. Not gonna lie, but I'm glad I got here, because it never happened again. Started from the bottom.
For me, it's gonna be forgiving the other person. I'm not gonna lie to you. I give myself a lot of grace, because you can be in certain situations where your mind is just all over the place, you know, like, and I think it's easy to make mistakes whenever your vision is blurred, you know, and it's blurred by the other person. So for me, it takes more so like forgiving the other person, because if I can't forgive that other person truly, then I might not be able to move on and be able to give my whole self to the person who I'm actually meant to be with. So yeah, it's definitely forgiving the other person, because sometimes you look at them, you're just like, ooh, like I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you did that.
Like
to
the
me.
audacity, No, I think for me, like I would say it's a little bit of both, and not even on a big scale as far as like forgiving the other person for like hurting a little things. Like, have you ever been around somebody who's just like annoying? Like they just annoy. Like it's not even like the person is annoying, but they have like characteristics of themselves that just annoy you, and you're just like, I don't know why this person. It could be something as like, I don't know why this person always, like the way they write, they always bump their elbow, and it's like that little piece is just like, it's so annoying. And it sounds really petty, but I'm using a petty example just to land. But I realized that like when you're in a situation, right, and you find those little pieces or characteristics of other people that annoy you, like it's best to like find those characteristics in yourself, because a lot of times the things that annoy you most about other people are like reflections of yourself that you don't like potentially like either. So once you find those things in yourself, like you try to work on it like within, and you learn to give yourself grace, because you're like, damn, I low-key like the things that I'm getting mad at someone things I'm getting mad at someone for doing, I realized that I could probably do that too. And so when I learned to correct myself from doing it, and when I learned to give myself grace, I learned to give the other person grace too. You know what I mean? So I think that's how I kind of learned to like forgive other people, is like realize, or at least humanize like the whole process, and realize like people are human. Like nobody is perfect. In the same way like somebody hurts you, it's that easy for you to hurt somebody else. So the same way you want someone to forgive you, like you have to forgive in the way that you want to be forgiven. Absolutely. And the way that and once you learn to forgive yourself for those things, it'll be so much easier for you to forgive other people, when you realize like people are human. Like walking around this world and expecting everybody to just like treat you right and treat you perfect, like that is not life. It's not reality. You know, I wish it was, but if you think about all the times that we went through things, like would we be the people that we are today? Not saying that hurt, it was acquired, and Black women don't deserve trauma. Right. That's not what I'm saying. But I know, even looking us and knowing each one of y'all stories, I know that like what y'all have been through has truly shaped y'all.
No, I completely agree.
Definitely.
So it's kind of like, I mean, they almost did y'all a favor. Well, no, let me
not a favor, but you know, like
it's still fucked them.
Put a little pep in my step.
You know what I mean? Like it's like.
So does I'm sorry mean anything to y'all anymore?
Sorry always means that you're gonna do it again. I apologize means that they're really serious about what they did. I'm sorry.
what if-
I always learned that.
If it comes quickly, like I hate like those people who like you're not even halfway done telling them what happened and they already
But what
apologize.
if they actually are sorry?
They're not.
You don't even know what you did yet. You're just trying
You're
to
trying
rush
to move
the
the
process.
conversation along, and
You're trying to shut me up.
Okay.
And it's like, no, you need to actually internalize what I'm saying. I need to know what you did wrong so you don't do it again. But you're just trying to get me unmad quickly. And it's like, I'm not even going to stop being mad. Now, I look like the grump because you
And
already
see,
said sorry and I'm still
I kind
mad.
of don't like that because then I feel like you're trying to little bro me at that point.
How are you being little bro?
In what way?
Because in the fact that if I'm telling you I apologize and now you're trying to tell me, no, actually, you don't know what you're sorry for. You need to sit down and you need to really think about your actions before you apologize. It's like either you're going to take this apology or you're not going to get it at all.
But that's the difference between an apology and I'm sorry.
No,
like,
I'm sorry. Even I'm sorry. Like sometimes they literally can just take that other person just literally telling you like this is their side of the story. You're like, you know what? I'm sorry. Like I understand where you're coming from now. That's not how I meant it. And it literally can be just that. But I feel like some people like they want to like almost like beat it into your head that it's like, no, this is what you actually did wrong. And now you really need to realize what you did wrong because that way you won't make the mistake in the future. It's like,
no, but there are some
now
people,
you like taking my sorry for like almost like for granted.
but they're not necessarily because
You
there
want
are
them to
some
kiss the
people,
ring pretty much.
You're talking about something and me, no, what are you, like she said, what are you sorry about? I haven't even finished telling you what I'm upset about. So what exactly are you sorry
I'm not
about?
saying every time.
You know what I'm saying?
just
But I think that's where she's hinting on, like, what exactly are you sorry about if I haven't landed yet?
Yeah, have you ever,
You
like,
just trying to move, you try to shut me
but
up.
maybe you
basically.
landed to me.
but
Nah.
I mean, but
No.
I think within is kind of like, well, let's like have like a problem. What's that word? Conflict resolution.
Mhm.
That's what I'm aiming for. Like I'm not here. Like I would have rather you not even tell me you're sorry. What I really want to figure out is how do we get here and how do we prevent this from happening again. Like I'm sorry really doesn't do anything for me because okay, I'm sorry, but you did it.
Yeah.
So explain to me why it's not going to happen again. Don't just say I'm sorry.
But do you feel like every conflict deserves a conversation?
Yeah. Y'all,
No.
like,
I mean, if you step on my
I'm not
foot,
gonna lie,
I mean-
it's communication. I feel like this world runs away from talking. Yes. I'm sorry. If something bothers you, it deserves a conversation. You are a
But-
person. Like, why would you not talk about it?
I'm just thinking of like,
You know what I mean?
like when someone has told me that, I've already stated like you did this and I don't like this and this is how it made me feel, and the apology follows. So I'm confused. Like, how are y'all getting apologies without even saying what bothered y'all to that person?
No, like okay, so someone can say something happened, right? And you're like, you know what? Like the other day, it's like, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Like I know, da-da-da. It's kind of like,
Oh, you don't even get to finish.
yeah, it's like,
saying
dang,
what you
give
want.
me a
Okay,
second.
okay.
It's like,
Okay. Because I was just like, I'm very direct. This bothered me.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
so I'm like,
Like,
how
in between you saying what you're bothered about, they already have the
Yeah,
the
it's
sorry,
almo-
and it's like, what exactly?
it's
are you
almost
sorry
like
about?
manipulative because it's like
It
they
is
don't want to
manipulation.
hear it. They're not trying to hear
That
all
part.
that.
I do agree because that did happen to me recently, and I honestly was like, it did bother me, but it wasn't that big of a deal. So him just apologizing, let's just move forward. Like I'm not gonna lie, like we
No.
just move forward because if
actually-
that apology wouldn't have came, honestly, I probably would have made it a bigger deal than what the fuck it was. So
Yeah.
honestly, I appreciate. I hear you. Your feelings are validated. I didn't mean to do that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
But-
we move forward
But when
because
things like that happen to me, I'm like, I will immediately stop. And be like, I'm not looking for you're sorry. I'm trying to talk to you
I
about
feel like
what happened, how I feel about it.
But I feel like to me
rushing
that
to say sorry, like to me, like that's not effective communication.
I kind of took it as his apology was acknowledgement of how he made me feel.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because it's
So I feel like that was enough. Like I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel that way. I already said
I don't know
how
why-
it made me feel.
I'm not gonna lie, that's conditioning someone to not really hear you out. Sorry, no,
Not conditioning.
no, that is like you're
But
conditioning someone how to treat
but
you. Like
I'm not gonna
if I
sit
just
here.
stop mid sentence, she'll shut up.
I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I kind of was just like, okay, I didn't really like, but honestly, it crossed my mind. But at the same time, I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm just used to talking to people who don't even like to give
Oh,
apologies.
yeah.
So to me, it's
Even
like the fact that you
but-
have acknowledged, I'm sorry. I'm gonna make sure that doesn't happen again.
It was
Who am
good
I
for
to
you.
continue to argue with you?
and that's kind of where
but
I'm.
guys,
And that's-
but still normalize like talking it through.
There's
No,
nothing wrong with talking it through. There's nothing wrong with talking it through. But you don't
take
have
pickle
to.
juice.
But you don't have to talk through everything. I feel like sometimes people pick fights, like because the thing is, it's kind of like one of those things where like, do you hold the same weight whenever it comes to someone stepping on your toe and someone punching you? It's like there's two different conversations. Like you have to pick. You have to pick what your fight is really going to be. And I feel like sometimes people always want to pick a fight with everything, and it's just like, dang, it does not have to be this
But-
whole like mom lecture or dad
Is it a
lecture,
though?
every time that
that's
we
the
get
problem.
into something.
That's how you're viewing it. Change your mind because it's not anyone you're talking with someone. No one's lecturing you. Y'all are talking with each other.
But there's a difference.
How are you lecturing somebody?
There's a difference between talking with someone and talking at them. And I feel like sometimes when you get into these type of conversations, especially whenever you already know you're in the wrong, people feel like obliged to talk at you. And it's like, okay, can we just both like, let's really just like look at the situation. If it was not for me, and I think I said this on the podcast multiple times, if I'm not going to be mad about this past a week, I really do not bring, like, I don't raise hell on a lot of things. Mm-hmm. Like, if I know it's not going to, like, put me in a bad mindset, you know, like, mess up my day, whatever the case may be, we can talk about it. I hear you, you hear me. And sometimes I might not even have anything to say. You know, just the fact that you acknowledge that it did not sit right with me, I'm okay with that.
But look how you're using like phrase like raise hell. It's not like that to me is a negative connotation to just talking to somebody. Like you're not raising hell, you're just talking. Like y'all are just having a conversation. Y'all are not arguing. Like if my tone is low, I'm talking to you. Like it shouldn't be a thing where the other party feels like they're being talked at. Like it's okay to feel like, you know, okay, I offended someone. You can be guarded a little, but still at the same time be open to a conversation. That's all I'm saying. Like, because I feel like this sounds like a certain type of person I'm used to talking to. And it's like, every time it's like, oh, I'm not trying to argue. But it's not really arguing if you're just having a conversation. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, why are you looking at it as an argument? Change your mind. Like,
I think it also kind of goes what Michelle said earlier about grace is like, what am I complaining about? Like, if I did that, do I want to hear you nagging me? So I think I'm also at the point where it's just like nagging. I'm okay. Yeah. Yes, nag. No, it's to nagging. Be a nag. So to me, like before I try to get onto somebody else, like I think like, damn, if I did this, would I want this person nagging me about it? No. Mm-hmm. And like Nikki said, if it's not going to bother me in a week, I'm actually going to just let you have it. Like it's not worth it. Like I'm really at the point I'm picking and choosing my battles.
My inner peace is such a big deal.
But listen, okay, so to say that, like you said, if it's not going to bother me in a week, right? And that I feel, because again, I'm kind of the same way too. I'm not the type of person, like I'm not a nagger whatsoever. Anything like you said, I'm too forgiving. But I feel like in being too forgiving, a lot of times when something does bother you, to me, I feel like it deserves a conversation, because what usually happens, right, is I feel like sometimes guys, they're very vocal and they're very like communicative when things bother them. And a lot of times, because I remember I was in a situation where I was dating a guy who he was like communicating a lot about things bother him. And he made a comment. I remember being like he said something like, I don't know what he said, but the way it made me feel was pretty much just like, I'm not even trying to like say that what you're mad about is like very small or a little bro, you like Nikki would say. But what we're actually going to do is have a conversation about all the things that I actually overlooked, so you could truly understand like why that comment was offensive to me. You know what I mean? And he was telling like, okay, I apologize. No. I don't want an apology. I want us to have a conversation so you can truly understand why I was upset, because there's no way that you'll understand why I was upset, because there's so many things I haven't communicated in the past that I feel like now I need to start speaking up for myself and defending myself in these small little things, because now you're starting to feel like I'm lucky to be with you because you nagging and I'm not nagging. You think that you're perfect. You're not perfect. So let's sit out here and actually have a conversation about how there are a lot of things that I actually do look over because I fuck with you the long way. You know
and
what
I learned from situations, because I used to be that person and no. Sorry, but then at the same time, vocalize.
But then at the same time, okay, that's kind of a fault on your communication, because the thing is it is, because
you don't want to be a nagger.
No, but this is the thing.
Raise
like,
hell.
No, like what I'm saying.
I'm using your words on you now.
No, this is what I'm saying though.
I wasn't mad about it in a week, but
if it truly is bothering you, there's nothing wrong with like saying something. Like it doesn't like I said, it doesn't have to turn into a lecture every time. But like to bring something up small, like you know what, I had to tell this guy. I said, whenever you and I first started dating, you were always opening the doors for me. And now that you've gotten comfortable with me, I feel like sometimes like you don't open the door. And he was like, oh, you know what? He's like, I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna get back to that. I apologize. That's it. But if I had let a year go by and he didn't open the door for me one time, and I'm like, you know what? You always slam the doors on my face and and I haven't brought these conversations up.
But not even that. Imagine it was a situation where he stopped opening doors for you, and you're like, you know what? It happens. I'm not gonna like bring that up, because of course a honeymoon phase is gonna end, and it's not realistic for me to expect you to do that all the time. But imagine he sits there and he's like, you know what? You used to make me breakfast all the time, but you don't make me breakfast anymore. And you're like, whoa, really? And he's like, okay, I'm sorry, I did it. But you're like, no. Let me actually explain to you why that's so hurtful, because the fact that you could bring up me not making breakfast this one time this week, and like I've actually given you so much grace. You know what I mean? It's kind of like,
Because
why are you bringing up
Why are you
little stuff?
bringing up? Why is it tit for tat?
It's not tit for tat. It's like
tat.
I'm explaining to you why that hurt me. Because it's like, why are you mad? Because it's like I'm trying to like absorb what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like it is. To me, it is very hurtful for a relationship for a guy to be like so on you, and you're not on him at all. And it's like, dang, I thought we were both like. We both had that dynamic, but it's kind of like, no, you're holding me to a different standard. And it's like, okay, well, let me show you that, like, I can hold you to that standard too, but I don't want us to be holding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want us to be giving each other grace.
I feel like it just falls under effective communication. We as a society lack that because some people would think that's nagging or why is it every time, but it's not even tit for tat. It's just holding people accountable respectfully, like just nicely, like talking about things like, I don't know. I
think
feel like
everyone's point here is definitely valid. I feel like when me and Nikki are saying like we're not gonna nag about it, like obviously if you do something once, like I said, it doesn't bother me, I'm gonna get over it. And if you do it again and it truly bothers me, then that's my time to bring it up. But I feel like people do random bullshit. You didn't cook one time, you're nagging me. Let me do it a second or a third time before you get to nagging me. That's the only point that I'm trying to make. I'm not gonna call you out for something one time that I don't really give a fuck. If it happens again and it truly bothers me, I'm addressing it then. I'm not gonna let months go by. The second time that occurrence comes and it truly bothers me, I'm speaking on it. That's all.
And I think people just have different levels of what bothers them. You know what I'm saying?
That's also
That's really what it comes
true.
down to. Like people just hold like something that bothers me would not even phase you. You know? So and I think that's vice versa for everybody. I think everyone just holds certain things to higher levels than other people, and it is what it is.
Which is true. Which is why it's sometimes, like you said earlier, it's kind of hard to ask people for advice. Because even how you mentioned earlier, how you were like, I don't know what the situation was because you didn't specify, but you said there was somebody who crossed all your boundaries, and when you tried to talk to a friend about it, they were like, "That's not unforgivable. I feel like you can forgive," but those are your boundaries, not theirs.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So of course they're gonna be like, "That's not a big deal," you know?
Yeah.
So it is kind of hard because I don't know.
Forgiveness is like, well, I think when it comes to forgiveness, it's not a one-way street, and it's not even a two-way street. Like it's just like one of those like major highways that 635 like under construction for the last 15 years, and you go about it different ways. Like in the older you get, there's certain things that you compromise on, there's certain things that you don't compromise on. You know, like even for me, whenever 10 years ago when I was 20, I would look at women that I thought were older and I'd just be like, oh my gosh, like you think that's a big deal? And now that I'm in my 30s, now I'm like, no, actually, that is a big deal. You know, so I think that the older I get, there's just certain things that I can forgive, and there's certain things I just can't forgive. And I think that whenever I was younger, I was definitely way more forgiving than what I should have been. You know, but it is what it is.
So is there anything that y'all forgiven somebody for that you want to unforgive them for?
Unforgive?
No.
No, not really. Not really. Maybe my high school boyfriend having a baby on me.
In high school?
Oh, wow.
Damn.
You said to unforgive?
I think that was just stupid.
That's tough. I mean,
Having a baby at 18 sounds tough.
I'm like, he had it tougher than you did. I don't know. He probably struggling to forgive himself. I mean, I know babies are gifts, but I'm just saying. The fact that you
At
can't-
18, it's hard.
No, it definitely is hard. It definitely is hard. I don't know.
All right, y'all. So thank y'all for joining us on another episode with Petty Party Podcast. Please make sure you follow us on all of our social platforms. We have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have Facebook. We are booming on all of them. That is where you see all of our newest updates, all of our links to everything. And future products that might be coming out. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. That way you can see us in 4K. You can talk about all of our weaves, all of our makeup, all of our clothes, whatever you want to talk about. And then make sure if you have any motos, Petty Chronicles, you are emailing us or even DMing us. We read everything. This is your girl, Just Nick, checking out.
And it's your girl, Paulette. Holla.
Bye, guys. It's your girl, Jori out there.
Bye, y'all. It's your girl, Shell. Bye.
Bye, y'all.